Hey there, what's going on? Pete Moriarty here. Welcome to yet another blind trial. This is a brand new format we're trying on the channel. Please let us know what you think. But the concept is we have 1 hour for a brand new tech trial of a brand new piece of software that we have not used, not seen before, and we're going to do something productive with it in just 60 minutes. And so we're aiming to do something that might be useful to a small business owner. Maybe we can make it work, maybe we won't. You're going to have to watch and find out and see. I mean, I guess by the time you're watching this, maybe you could skip to the end, but stick with us. See if we can make this work or not. I'm joined by my good friend here, Clint Ebbesen. Clint, thank you so much for being here. Great to have you here again.
Very good to see you, Peter.
You excited? Excited for our next trial?
I am. I hear it's a Google product, so very keen to jump in and see what we're doing.
Yes, we are doing a Google product. We're doing a Google product. Oh, we already have people saying on the stream. Hello, hello. So today we are doing Google AI Studio, and I kind of lied. I have logged in once. I did use it. I did use it once, but it was for 3 minutes. I was on a meeting, so that doesn't count. That doesn't count. But we're going to spend an hour actually going through the features, and we're going to see what we do. Now, Google AI Studio, I don't actually know exactly what it's pitched as because I've used Notebook LM. Have you used Notebook LM yet?
I haven't used it personally, but
Okay.
I have seen a lot of info about it. It is very interesting.
Okay, so Notebook LM, I've done a couple of small demos on, and I did put a couple of those in the channel. I thought Notebook LM was like part of Google AI Studio, but AI Studio has other tools. One of those being it can like watch what's on your screen, and it's I think supposed to be similar to GPT Operator in that it should like connect to your computer in some way and do something, and then there's other tools that do other things. I don't know, but we're gonna get in there. We're gonna work out, but we're gonna do something productive in 60 minutes. So let's have a go. So for those who don't know, if you're in the audience and you're listening, Clint is apart from being a personal friend of mine, is a computer IT consultant, engineer, and so Clint is partnering up to do this content with us. He's a bit smarter than me when it comes to actually cutting code, and we both have experience running businesses, and we both have experience working with small and medium-sized business owners and helping you to try and get the most out of your tech and just work out how it can be useful for your business, because there's heaps of cool stuff that tech can do, but it's not always useful for your business. So that's what we're trying to decode in this series, and hopefully you find it useful and somewhat entertaining. We will see. All right, so I'm gonna move my little camera over here now, and I'm gonna put you in the corner. Oops, that's still my stream screen open. So let's move over here to my actual screen. All right, I'm gonna share my screen into you, Clint, so you can see what I'm doing at least. And then you can always share your screen in as well. Let's check I've got the right window. And then soon, in one moment, I'm going to start the timer. Hold on, I need to unpin. You know what's, there's a really weird thing going on. Every time I share my screen, it automatically puts me in annotation mode in Google Meet,
Yeah.
which is actually really annoying. Okay, cool. So I think I've got what I need here. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna hit the timer, and then we're gonna open the site.
Timer,
Are you ready?
well, one question first.
Yeah.
Do you have a goal? So do you have an objective? So I know we're jumping into what we're doing here, but is there a direction you'd like to try and go with this? Is there an objective that you'd like to achieve out of it? Or is this just, we have no idea what we're doing, we'll go in and we'll see if we can make it do anything useful for us?
It's the latter. We have no idea.
Very good.
Yeah. So I think as soon as we get in, as soon as we like even open the site, and the timer's going to be running by then it's up to us to define what do we think is going to be useful for a small business owner, and we have to build something, do something, create something, or identify something that's useful for a small business owner, and we have to demonstrate that within the hour. So I'm assuming we're going to have a look at it, and it's going to be like, oh yeah, that's nice, on a conceptual level, but then we've got to actually get to, all right, what is something useful we can build? And when we did our last one for clay.com, that was pretty crazy because we had to like learn a new app completely.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, we were able to create a enriched set of leads that we could then do an outbound sequence to. And I sent that sequence, you know, I didn't get any replies. It was only 10 people. So I would have to have a pretty good conversion rate for even one of them to reply to me. But
I was about to ask you if you had any success with that, or if you've used it any further since.
No success, and I've not used it further since. But
Do you
that's
think you'll use it in the future?
well, yeah, I can delegate it to my team now at least. But yeah, we're not really focusing on outbound campaigns right now. So I decided to send it as an experiment and to make sure that what we did worked, which it did, but not much kind of came out of it from there. Anyway, so I think let's jump in. Let's start the timer and let's see if we can do something. Let's see if we can do something useful. All right, timer is starting. And I'm going to type in Google AI Studio. Now I don't even know if it's going to be active for this account. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm in. Get started with Gemini. Hold on, wait. Should I go in like an incognito and work out like what even is Google AI Studio?
Yeah, what does Google say it is?
Oh, it asks me to log in even in incognito. Okay, so let's Google it. Google AI Studio. What is it?
That's the API.
Oh, it's the API. It's the Gemini API. Okay, so it's like the OpenAI playground. That must be what it is. A million token context window. Get a Gemini API key prompt gallery. Is this, or is this something else? Sign into Google AI Studio. Yeah, that takes me back to that. Okay, so this is this is like the API playground that OpenAI has, which I'm sure you've used that, right? You've played around with that. Okay, so that's what we're building in today. So the challenge is going to be build something useful for a small business owner here, because this is going to get technical real fast.
It will.
But
well, not necessarily that, but to integrate it into something could easily get technical fast.
Yeah, and immediately, like, I can see technical options here, like different Gemini models, tokens, temperature. Like, what the hell does temperature mean?
Temperature is like, it's almost a randomness factor, or how crazy, or so a lower temperature will give it more of a structured output. It'll be more repeatable, whereas a high temperature it's like you've given it more and more coffee. It'll be potentially less reliable, but it could be more creative, and it could be more out there, and it could be more interesting. So it's a scale on what you want to do. So do you want it to be bland and boring but repeatable and reliable, or do you want it nice and interesting and creative, but it could give you some crazy replies?
I see. So it's like a variance kind of metric. Okay, interesting. All right, so my camera's just frozen on the stream, so I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully my audio's still working. Yeah, it is. All right, let's see what's happening with my. How do I even trigger that? Turn it off, turn it on again. Sometimes that works. There we go. I'm back. Okay. So interestingly, when I hover over that, it actually says creativity allowed in responses. So you can go like nearly no creativity or double creativity. All right, that's cool. What are we even looking at here? Okay, so we've got a chat prompt. So this is get started with Gemini. Should we have a look around, or should we define what we want to do? We might just have to play with it for a bit and work out what's here, right?
You've got a gallery there. So if you go to the prompt gallery, at least that'll give you a bit of an indication on what are some of the suggestions that Google have got. How are they thinking that?
Okay. Ask questions about key details in a video. Okay, that's pretty easy, but I mean, anyone can do that with GPT. Or Gemini. Create a set of math worksheets for parents. Interesting. Create a scavenger hunt. Solve geometry problems. Find time complexity and optimize it. Gee, that sounds like one of those like questions of the universe. Find time complexity and optimize it. Okay. Order coffee from a virtual barista. Write a Docker script. That seems a bit advanced. this is it. Well, here we go. Adjust writing tone to fit your needs. Okay, that's interesting because I think a lot of small business owners want to create content and probably want to have a scalable solution of some sort to do that. So that I'm curious about, and I'm also curious about that as well because Gemini doesn't have the best reputation for content writing. We tend to use Claude when we want to write content. And we also use GPT as well. We tend not to use Gemini for that. So I'd be curious to try that. I'm going to click it and see what it does anyway. Here's a blurb for an upcoming startup event. Write this in a more professional tone intended for a corporate email. Calling all tech junkies, investors, and curious minds. that so looks like AI. Just straight out of AI with all the it's the emojis. They totally give it away. Ready to witness the future. We're throwing a pitch party with brilliant startups, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's so AI. It's so gross. Okay. So, all right. So that did. So then I've just got this type something window, system instructions, generate AI code. I mean, I guess this is just a prompt window. What can you do with this? I'm just going to ask it if it can. Oh, I see. Okay. So that's the prompt. That's the prompt template. So that's the so it's giving us like a fully formed prompt. It's giving us a fully formed prompt, and then it's showing us the output when we run it.
An email generator.
Yeah, and so it's asked rewrite this into a corporate email. That's what it's done. It's rewritten into a corporate email. So let's have a look at that. We cordially invite you. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay. Let's try. Can you write it like an Australian Gen Z would write it? Now, don't go too hardcore with slang, but make it reasonably informal and casual because starting the sentence with cordially is just way too far. All right, so I'm putting that in. If you're wondering what I use for dictation, it's called Whisper Flow, which is a great little app. All right. Want to see some seriously cool AI stuff? We're hosting a showcase where heaps of awesome startups are going to be showing off their latest inventions. Think AI in healthcare, self-driving biz tech, and maybe even a robot barista. Wouldn't that be sweet? You know, this is not terrible.
That's better.
That's not terrible. I followed the instructions. Register now, what's filling up fast. You know what? That's got a decent level of hype without being AI slop or super cringe. So
no, that could. I think that's quite passable. Yeah.
Could work. Oh, okay. Submit feedback. No, I just wanted to give you a thumbs up. That's all. I didn't want to do feedback. Okay. Now. That's interesting. So this has put temperature at 2 for this template here, token count, and it's using Gemini 1.5 Flash, which gives you a lot of information about that, which I don't think I'm interested in. Okay, so we've got a chat. Okay, so we've got a chat thing, and I guess this gives us like different recipes here. I don't know what else is here. We should probably have a quick look around because we've spent 8 minutes so far, and I don't know what we're going to build yet. So, okay, you can build some API keys. Interesting. Documentation. All right.
Yeah. So what do we have? Starter apps on the left. What do we have there?
So we have Stream, Talk to Gemini Live. This is the one where you can share your screen in. So you can share your screen into Gemini, and it will watch what's happening and then talk to you about it, which is not that groundbreaking, knowing that there's an API on GCP which takes video in real time and categorizes what's in the video. So what it's doing is they're using their video API to categorize what's happening and then putting that text into Gemini Live. Okay, I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's not groundbreaking because that API has been there for 5 years. They just put two cool things together. I can talk to Gemini via my webcam. That's interesting. Video gen. Okay, so this is a video generator. Starter apps. Well, that's interesting. Create interactive flashcards. Spatial understanding. So that's unlocking vision. image to code, Maps Explorer, P5JS Playground. Oh, that must be some kind of code library. Maps Planner. Explore the world one tap at a time on an interactive map. Okay, well, I don't really know what these do. Frequently asked questions.
No,
It's a service for building, editing, and sharing apps that use the Gemini API.
okay.
Interesting. I don't think we're going to be able to do that in an hour.
I think that does sound a bit technical.
But there are some interesting templates there, like prompt, embeddings, count tokens. I think if we had like 3 hours, I would be down to jump in. Stream responses, chat example. If I had your brain, this is what I would be. This would take me 4 hours for what you could do in an hour. But next time you can drive, and then we should build something on here. I'm curious about that. Okay, I think that might be too much. And then what we've got, history and enable save. Okay, so that's just asking me to connect to my Google Drive so I can save stuff. Okay, so
Well, does Google know what it can do? So if we go back to this chat prompt here,
yeah,
and we say, hey, well, look, what can Gemini do or what can the Google AI Studio do for small business owners?
you know what I want to do? I want to turn on the stream and have it listen to you say that and see if it picks it up. So I'm going to share Clint in here.
So we've now got Gemini in the call to repeat.
I don't know. I don't know if it can hear you. Maybe it can only hear me. It says stream live. Hold on. Stop recording. Type something. Oh, I might have to give it an. Wait. I've got to allow the use of the microphone. Oh, you know what? I think I might have to route your audio into Gemini. So that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do. Can I? Okay, so I think because I'm kind of talking to it, it's like trying to answer, but I'm not really giving enough time to answer.
Yeah.
It sounds like you were having some trouble routing your audio into Gemini, and it also sounds like you were a bit rushed for time. Is there anything I can do to assist?
Yes, I have a friend of mine on a Google Meet with me, and I would like my friend to talk to you. Can you help instruct me how I can share my computer audio into Google Meet?
Okay. To share your computer audio in Google Meet, when you start presenting, select the option to...
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't know what it's doing. Okay, let me try one more time. So clear the chat to start a new stream. So let's start a new stream. Talk. No, that's not what I want. Select video source, screen, window. All right, I'm going to try one more time and see. It doesn't say that it's going to. It doesn't say that it's going to pull in the. It doesn't say that it's going to pull in the audio. Okay, we'll have to give up on that one. But what was your question? I'm gonna ask it the question.
Yeah, so we just want to know, what can Google AI Studio do to help small business owners?
Okay, great. What can Google AI Studio do to help small business owners?
Google AI Studio can help small business owners. What specific assistance are you looking for?
I've got 40 minutes to work out a useful application of Google AI Studio, and I'm looking for some examples of something I can build or create or do inside Google AI Studio within that time frame that's going to be really actionable to help with something that would be a common, typical operational need for a small business owner.
Given the time constraint, focusing on text generation tasks within Google AI Studio could be beneficial. Have you considered exploring AI tools for generating marketing copy or customer service responses?
Can you please speak faster?
Okay, I'll speak faster. Does that help?
Yes, excellent. Give me 10 ideas regarding marketing and content generation that you can help with.
Okay, here are 10 ideas for marketing and content generation using Google AI Studio.
Too slow, faster.
1. Generate ad copy variations. 2. Create social media posts. 3. Draft blog outlines.
Give me 3 bullets under each of those headings. They're too brief.
Okay, I'll provide 3 bullet points under each of those headings.
You're still speaking too slow. Can you please speak faster?
I understand. Here are the 10 ideas with 3 supporting points.
Can you just give me the things without explaining them to me?
Add copy, A/B test headlines, target demographics, highlight key
Where's the
features.
bullets? There's no bullets.
Add copy, A/B test headlines, target demographics, highlight key features. Social media, engaging questions, trending topics, relevant hashtags, blog outlines, compelling titles, key arguments.
All right. That was not great.
No. It's talking to you. Are you able to hear what it's saying there?
So, I mean, you can still see my window, right? So, yeah. So,
I can
oh,
see
yeah.
it,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So that's so it's talking these out to me.
Add copy.
I guess
Yeah,
the audio might not be being picked up by
You
the
can't
mic.
hear that. Yeah.
So it's talking it to me, and it's, I mean, apart from being annoying, like it's just kind of saying what's here. The thing is, like, it's really not handling the instructions like Gemini would handle that. Any other LLM would be able to put things in the right sequence. It did speak faster when I asked it to speak faster, so that was good. But it seemed to only do that once, and then it went back to speaking slowly again, which is odd.
Yeah, okay. But it can't tell us how it can be useful itself.
No, but I mean, I guess we've demonstrated Stream, so you get to have a conversation with it. I mean, we could maybe try some tech troubleshooting using Stream. Like I could share a screen and I could set up my DNS records in Google Workspace. I mean, people have problems with that. People have problems with that every day. We fix that every day on the channel. I could do that. Apart from that, like generating videos, I don't see how that's going to be that different to generating a video in Gemini, except that you can interact with this via the API, and it does give you some options to like choose aspect ratio and whatnot. Starter apps, I think, too complicated. I think Stream is where we're at. Shall we try and do some? Let's see if we can replace IT Genius with Stream. That's what I'm curious about. Like, can I get it to help me do something on my computer? I mean, GPT has what do they call their operator, right? And that controls your computer. This one doesn't control your computer, but maybe it can do something useful by watching me on the computer.
Like I said, it's a little bit different. So the operator can't control your computer. Operator it's got its own web browser in like a virtual machine. So you can tell it to go off to a website, log in, do something, find me some products, put them in a cart, place the order for me. But you can't actually say, hey, troubleshoot some software on my computer. Whereas on the other hand, from what I said here, Google AI Studio, it can't do anything for you, but it can look at your screen. So if you share your screen on your computer with the software that you're using, you could then ask it to, hey, watch what I'm doing, and then be able to give me text feedback or tell me what I need to do, tell me what the next steps are. So they're a little bit different in that regard. ChatGPT, it can do it for you, but it can't see your computer. This one can see your computer, but it can't do it for you. So they've each got their own places. I think this could be very useful. If it can watch your screen and go, hey, I'm trying to work this DNS stuff out, or I'm trying to log into Google Workspace, I can't find the setting for this. And often the button is there on the screen and you just can't see it. Like 9 out of 10 times when you're in the settings there, you'll have 50 options on the screen. One of them is the right one. You ask ChatGPT or Google, hey, what is the button? It's saying, yeah, just click on this one. And you're saying, and you're telling it the button's not there, but it is. You just can't. Having it see your screen, I think that'd be a real good advantage.
Okay, I've got a good idea actually. How about we start with some basic administration in Google Workspace in the admin panel, and see if it can walk us through it.
Okay, well, let's see. Can it add an email alias for you or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Let's start with something basic like that. That's a great idea. So I want to add an email alias to my Google Workspace account. Can you help me do that if I share my screen into this window? All right, so I'm going to run that.
I can definitely guide you through the process of adding an email alias to your Google Workspace account while you share your screen. Let me know when you're ready to share, and we'll
So let's
proceed
pretend you
step by
have
step.
literally no idea about it. It's like a friend of yours told you, hey, you can add email aliases, and you go, I don't know what it is. I don't know how to do it. So you don't even know the admin panel exists. So we'll pretend that.
Well, that's a good point because I just opened the admin panel out of muscle memory.
Yes, you do go there. But,
Okay, so I'll open a blank tab, which is going to be a bit
like
weird.
a normal person would probably open Gmail to try and do it.
Yeah. Okay, good point. Okay, all right, I'm going to open my Gmail. And interestingly, there is a way to get to the admin panel from Gmail.
You
So
can, absolutely.
let's see if we can find that. So select video source, share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to share just the tab to keep things simple. Otherwise, it might freak out. Okay, so I'm going to share my email, my tab with my email. Okay.
It sounds like you're describing.
Oh, and it puts it here in a little picture-in-picture. It sounds like you're describing a physical. Oh, it's
Okay, I can see your Gmail.
It was
inbox
listening.
now. To add an email alias, you'll
Okay.
actually need to go into the Google Workspace
I'm
admin
gonna
console.
I'm gonna dictate.
Do you
Otherwise,
have
it's gonna.
access to that?
Shush. Okay.
There you go.
So help me get. Oh wait. Oh, it says. Okay. So you go to the. Do you have access to that? I don't know.
What is it?
What is it, and how do I access it? All right. Let's send that.
The Google Workspace admin console is a web interface where you manage settings for your entire Google Workspace account,
You can try.
including users, apps, and email aliases.
Okay. That's.
To access it, you'll typically need to be an
Good stuff.
administrator for your Google Workspace account. You can try going to admin.google.com in your web browser.
What next?
Does that take you to a login page or directly to the
So
admin console?
so I've changed the page. But it doesn't seem to have realized that the page. Can you see my screen still? I mean, it's still sharing it into
yes,
there.
I can see your screen. Now that you're in the admin console,
Okay, so
do you want to add the email alias to your own account or to another user's
It
account?
needs you to prompt it continually on.
it didn't realize that my screen had changed. It didn't work out that context. I mean, I'm curious, like, how about I ask it to guide me through it? Can you guide me through it step by step? And I would like to add an alias to my account, please. The thing I like about this, Clint, is it's brought in decent knowledge, right? So it said, do you want to add the alias to your account or to someone else's? So it's demonstrating domain knowledge, and that's pretty impressive.
Okay, to add an alias to your own account, click on Users on the main dashboard.
Okay, so
then find your user account in the list and click on it.
click on Users in the main dashboard, and then find my account and click on it. Oh, hold on. How about this? I'm gonna give it a bit of a curveball here, because my account's on the second page. I can't see my account on this page. See if it picks that up.
Okay, I see the list of users. At the top, there's a search bar labeled Search for
Smart.
Users, Groups, or Settings.
that works.
Smart.
Can you type your name or email address into that search bar to find your account?
Can you monitor what I'm doing as I move web pages and keep up to date with what you're seeing rather than waiting for me to give you instructions?
Thanks for the feedback. I can see that you found your user account. Now, on your user page, look for the section labeled User Information. There should be an option to add alternate email addresses. Can you see that?
Still not picking it up. Okay, interesting. I'll just say yes.
Great. Now you can enter the desired alias in the alternate email field and select the appropriate domain from the drop-down menu. Then click Save. Is there any specific alias you'd like to create?
I've created it.
I see that you've added the alias. Is there anything else I can help you with regarding your Google Workspace account?
See if it knows how to test an email address.
To test the alias, simply compose an email to the new alias address and send it. Then check your primary inbox to see if the email arrives there.
Okay, kind of missed something. My friend, who's a system administrator, said that that was not quite the most comprehensive response that you could have given. Do you think you could improve that?
I understand. To be more comprehensive, after sending a test email to the new alias and checking your primary inbox, here are a few additional things you can check. Check your sent folder. Ensure the email you sent to the alias.
I'm not going to listen to all of that. I'm surprised that it doesn't say the most obvious thing, which is send from an off-domain mailbox. Send from a different platform, send from a different domain, because that's the most obvious. That's the most obvious thing. I wonder if we could ask it, like, why did you not suggest sending from a different domain mailbox or account?
You're right, that's an important point. Sending from a different domain or email account is crucial to ensure deliverability and avoid potential filtering.
It's a bit difficult to listen to that. Okay, what do we think? Score out of 10?
Well, it did get the job done. So I don't know, like 7 out of 10. Like I guess it's not perfect, but for someone who doesn't know what they're doing, it can absolutely get the job done for them.
If I was talking to it the whole time and saying, okay, I've done that, okay, I've done that, okay, I've done that, it would have proceeded nicely. I think I would have preferred for it to watch my screen. Okay, now click here. Okay, like if I'm helping my mum with tech support, I'm like, okay, now click there. Okay, now click there. Okay, now click there. I don't need her to say, okay, done, okay, done, okay, done. But I agree. It was pretty good, right?
It's got potential, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if we should, I mean, I'm seeing here, even if we gave it something harder, it's using the Google Workspace Administrators Guide. So everything that's in the Google Help Guide for administrators, which is everything because they have full product documentation, it's going to be able to do. So, we could do advanced policies, we could do other things, but basically anything here is going to be pretty well documented. I wonder if there's something else we could do, maybe tech support wise, to push it a bit harder, or is there something like outside of Google Workspace that we could get it to help with? Because this is pretty useful. Like I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, tough one though. I mean, I can ask it something really hard that I know is not in the documentation. So
that's what I say, that or a relatively new feature that was only recently documentation.
Well, features might be in the Google Updates blog. So it might have context there, or it might have context from Google internal. I don't know, maybe. But you know what? I've got a speaker there, which is an old speaker. It's a Google Assistant speaker, but it doesn't connect very well to Google Workspace accounts. You need to enable some obscure APIs. And there is one post on Google product forums with the correct instructions. Okay. So let's try that. Okay. I wonder if I can start like a new conversation is probably the smartest thing. Okay, cool. Oh no, you know what? I kind of needed that because I needed it to know I was in the Workspace admin panel, but that's okay. Let's just start from scratch. I have a Google Workspace account and I have a Google Home Max speaker, but the speaker is not connecting in the Google Home app and I need some help getting that fixed. I'm really curious to see where it's going to take us, because where it should take us
troubleshoot why your Google Home
where it should take us is to an API menu. Yes, I've tried power cycling the device and plugging it back in. It seems to go most of the way through the setup guide, and then it gives me an error saying that the initialization could not be completed after I've authenticated and chosen a wireless network.
Thanks. Since you've already power cycled the device, the next thing I would suggest is to check the Wi-Fi connection.
Oof.
Make sure that your phone or tablet is connected to the same Wi-Fi network as the Google Home.
Okay, I've done that, and I am a network engineer, so I'm pretty comfortable that all of the Wi-Fi and connectivity things are working with this. I believe this is a bug in Google's software or something to do with this being a Google Workspace account that I'm trying to connect it to rather than a Gmail account. The device works fine with a Gmail account, but on a Workspace account, I'm getting an error when I'm at the final stages of the onboarding in the Google Home app. Oh boy, hold on. Paste last transcript. There we go.
Thanks. Given your expertise,
Notice the pause. Thanks. Here we go. Okay, so this is given the stock standard Google support answer, which is we don't support these devices. Some features might work. Have you checked to see if it's supported by Google Workspace account? Ooh. No, it's not technically supported, but I have seen before plenty of people have got them to work, and I've even got them to work previously myself. But I'm concerned that there's something I'm not noticing in the Google Workspace account. Maybe it's the settings that mean that this is not onboarding properly. I'm seeing the error, an error occurred in the app.
thanks. Given that it's not official.
Device manager settings. Okay. Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to say yes because I don't have any settings. That like that.
Sorry.
We'll see.
Have you looked at Google Workspace? Can you please outline all of the management or device policy settings that could be interfering with this device? And at this point, I'm kind of having a conversation just with Gemini.
Here are some Google Workspace admin console settings that could potentially interfere with the Google Home Max onboarding process.
App access control.
Device management. Check the device management settings to ensure that there aren't any policies blocking or restricting new devices from being added to the network. Specifically,
That's pretty good.
Look at the mobile
That's
device.
pretty good. It didn't specifically get but it's within the app. It's within the app access control. And if someone went there, they click the button, allow all. That's what the fix ended up being. So it's hidden away in the admin panel. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. So where to next?
We jump into starter apps, and I guess we're pretty limited. Well, it's the same thing. I suppose if we were to jump into OpenAI's backend, I guess it's sort of you're reasonably limited on what you can do without writing code or integrating into other systems or that sort of thing. But
let's go to hard mode. Okay, so what if we try and do something that I don't know how to do, but we share that into the stream?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to play with this spatial understanding one. I think this is interesting because I want to see what that is actually doing. Okay, so spatial understanding. Is there a documentation here?
Well, I guess that's just, I suppose it goes back to is this for Peter or is this for a small business owner?
We're going to try and find something that's useful here. What could spatial understanding be useful for a small business owner? I mean, my dad's a builder. He could take a photo of a building site. If someone wanted to create a really great YouTube thumbnail, maybe we could ask it for, I don't know, what it thinks about the latest YouTube thumbnail. Let me try and find one here.
I guess one thing potentially, like I don't know if you've seen these apps that can be used to count objects. Like I remember years ago seeing it. You could take a photo of a stack of timber, and it will be able to count how many pieces of timber on that pallet or that kind of thing. Yeah, that could actually be useful for someone in the construction game.
That I like the idea of. Now,
with that spatial.
What I want to know is like, how do we? Oh, here we go. Okay, so it's found IT Genius, office hours. So that's just kind of like labeled things. It hasn't picked up the human, 2D bounding boxes, segmentation masks. Show me positions of items, humans. Interesting. Okay. Okay. 3D bounding boxes. I don't know what that is. Okay. Show me points. Don't know what that is. Segmentation masks. Don't know what that is. Okay, well, I guess 2D bounding boxes. Okay, so shall we use a palette? Palette. Let's get like items on palette. Here we go. Let's see if we can count how many bricks are on here. All right, let's put that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's upload. Okay, show me the position of bricks with each one. Label it brick. Did it work? It doesn't really show or give me a heads up if it's worked or not. I don't know, man. I don't have heaps of context. I don't have heaps of confidence on this one.
No, this seems, well, by bounding box, I think this sort of seems to be identifying objects. Not so much doing image processing or calculations or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Stacks of palette, stacks of palette, stacks of palette. You know, that's not bad. That's not bad. 2D bounding boxes. So, I mean, it's hard to know like what it's completed and what it hasn't completed. Oh, that's interesting. So it's put. I mean, I still don't know what we're doing with this for small business owners.
Well, yeah.
But obviously, you can send something to this programmatically, and it's going to do this for you. And I guess then it's going to give you like a list of the items in some kind of format that you can give back. What my curiosity immediately goes to is like, what Zapier endpoints are available with Google AI Studio? Because if you have Zapier, most small business owners can work out Zapier. It's pretty straightforward to do. So if we go Zapier, let's go ahead and log in. Oh no, I'm going to have to use an email login. And of course, it's going to ask me for something like two-factor. Let's go Explore Apps. Okay. Google AI Studio. Why is that taking so long? Hello. That's bizarre. Oh, here we go. Just says Gemini integrations. Are you going to tell me what you can do with Gemini? Okay, so you've got to pair it with, let's say, Google Spreadsheet. Application error, client side. Whoa. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Choose an action. Conversation or send prompt. So I'm curious if this. I'm curious if this will actually have like all of the operators here. Like, can I send it an image? Because it doesn't seem to be clear. Let's say, I don't know, maybe I want to use a Google form. Oh boy. Okay.
Working.
So we have conversation or send prompt. Surely there must be more events configured for that. So now we're going into the territory of outside.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to switch. I'm gonna have to switch to my other screen now while I do my two-factor. All right, let's do that.
Though, like once you're starting to use Zapier, then we actually start to get to something useful. So a number of things could be like Slack was one example there. So if you find yourself, or particularly as a small business owner, if you find yourself being able to leverage ChatGPT or one of those tools quite effectively, it comes down to, do other people know how to use those? Because the results you get out of using ChatGPT significantly come down to what you put into it. So you yourself, who knows how to use it, it's easy to know what you're doing, put the right text in, know the right prompt, and get the right result that you want. For someone who doesn't understand how to use it or know what prompt to use, it can be very difficult. So that's, in particular, I know with ChatGPT, this is where I use one of the things I use OpenAI's backend for, and I'm sure we can do the exact same thing here through Google Studio, where you as a business owner, you put that very detailed prompt in, explaining everything you need it to do, what input it's going to get, and what output you expect it to do, and you give a lot of detail on that output. That is something that you can then give to your employees to then use, and you could, let's say, wire that up to Slack. So within Slack, you can have a Slack channel where someone pastes in an email. It then formats it, gives the right email, and it gives the right response back. Or if you're, let's say, you're setting up new products on an e-commerce website, you can put in a brief description, or you can even have the person write all of the description, the way that you want, and then you have Gemini format it to have the same consistency across the entire website. There's things we could do that with Slack, or with Excel, or with the Google Sheets or the Google Forms. We can have it when let's say you have a new customer on board, that automatically gets a new row in a Google Sheet that can then trigger an action within Gemini, and that could be automatically creating an onboarding email or creating a new task. So in Monday.com, you could have it automatically take that customer details, generate some information, save it as a task in Monday, and assign it to someone. That's where we can start to create some of those automations.
Yeah. And Zapier, for anyone who's not used Zapier before, it can be the brain of all of these automations. If you want something to happen, at a specific time, on like a repeated basis, you can do that. If you want it to just talk to another app that you're already in, like Google Sheets, Google Chat was great out there, but you can use Google Chat to trigger things through like a web hook, I think. But Zapier kind of sits in the middle, like the glue that connects all these apps together nicely. So I'm noticing here that the endpoint for Google AI Studio only has conversation or send prompt, which sounds like conversation as well, except maybe conversation is data back and forward and send prompt is just like one prompt and then get one response back. I don't know if that send prompt is going to allow us to send an image, although interestingly here it says show raw prompt. So give the segmentation marks for items, output JSON list. I don't know if this starter app is all that different to just like sending an image to Gemini and then giving that prompt to Gemini. It seems like the same thing.
Yes.
I guess the starter app is like the visual. This is the visual front end to what you're doing rather than just getting it back in raw format, right?
It is largely, and that's the thing. You will find effectively what you're doing through this website today is effectively the same as what you'll be doing through the normal Gemini chat interface. The difference being the normal chat Gemini interface, you can only do it there. You're talking there, you're getting a response there, you're uploading images, you're seeing images. You can't do anything else. That's what the Google AI Studio is for. We're basically using this just as a testing. The website we're currently using is basically just for testing those processes that we're trying to develop. The real power comes from the API. So we can have this connected via Zapier, or if we were doing something more advanced, if we had a software developer within our company who was creating custom integrations for our separate softwares, or if we were developing an iPhone app or an Android app, that's where we can then go, okay, we want to connect Gemini in and make it part of our app. So we don't have to go out to Gemini to use it. We can use those features from inside of our ecosystem.
Now, what would be some of the most basic examples that a small business owner would use? I mean, I find it hard to think of anything that would be outside of plugging into Zapier, having Zapier as a part of your workflow, sending out the response to Gemini and having it come back. For example, one of the workflows we're building at the moment is when we create a video, what we want is for the description of the video to be generated from the transcript. So the team can put the transcript of a video into a field. Now, I don't know if Gemini can actually transcribe videos these days. That'd be wonderful if it can, if I can put an actual video file in there and it pull the transcript. But if not, yeah, we throw the transcript in there, and then it will obviously query Gemini and then come back to us and say, okay, here's a description that can go on social media or on YouTube or something like that. That to me is something that's really useful to use the Gemini API for, rather than new video, cut, go to Gemini, paste, grab it, come back, cut, paste, put it back into the app or the system or whatever that you're using. It's just one of those things where it's programmatic. It's a bit easier to do. Or you might say, we've got this long prompt that we want to run every time. Every time you put it in programmatically, it uses that prompt that you've specified. And that's where you mentioned earlier, if someone's the business owner, they might want to dictate what the prompt is, and then have the team just kind of do the processing, be the end users of the prompt that they've created.
That's it. Yeah. So like one example, trying to think how I can, trying to think how can I explain this without giving away what my client has done, but a complete separate scenario, the exact same logic, but I'm just, this one is let's call it a resume business. So let's say your business is perfecting people's resumes. What you might want to do is on your WordPress website, you might want to have a rate my resume feature on there. So someone can upload their resume and they can get instant feedback on, is it good, is it bad, how can I improve, what's that resume like? So what we would do here, this is where it gets very technical, but you would write a custom plugin for WordPress that then connects through to Google AI Studio. And within the AI Studio, you have a custom prompt in there, which you tell it, okay, you're going to receive a PDF resume. You need to analyze the resume. You need to give it a rating out of 10. And I want you to give it 10 bullet points on how can it be improved. It will then export that as JSON. Your custom WordPress plugin receives that JSON. It then displays that within the web page, and it might blur out the last 8. It'll show the first 2 bullet points on how can you improve. It'll blur the last 8, and it says, hey, if you want to find it, so at least it's giving you a bit of feedback it's giving you a bit of a teaser there to go, oh, okay, yeah, I can see where my resume can be improved, but I need to sign up or, do something to be able to get the rest of it. You could use that easily as a lead generation strategy there.
I love that. I love nerds that are also capitalists. It's such a good mix. I like that. And if someone wanted to achieve something like that without cutting code, it's probably possible to have like a WordPress membership plugin. And with the WordPress membership plugin, you could use a file upload feature. There's some forum apps and stuff you can connect to WordPress. Zapier would certainly be able to pick up a file that was uploaded if they've got a link to Zapier. You could then run that in Zapier, the query against Google AI Studio using what we saw here was the action of conversation. So you would say, right, take this file, read this file, send this file over here, and then you'd get the results back, and Zapier would be able to place that maybe in a comment, in a forum, in the members area, or some way you could share it. Now, could you have the fancy 10 bullets with 8 blurred out and a payment gateway to unlock the rest? It's getting a little bit tricky to get that done, without cutting any code in WordPress, but potentially possible if you really wanted to do that yourself.
I've also, for another client, done a customer service agent.
What's a service agent? that
Basically helping out with
we should explain.
Emails, Facebook inquiries, Instagram messages.
Oh, customer service agent. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that one was quite complex on what I did, but thinking about it now, I do believe there's a way using Zapier that anyone could do that. So if you've got a Gmail inbox, just a generic inbox that is shared across your employees, let's say from your website, you've got a WordPress form, the output of that form goes into Gmail, and we only use this Gmail inbox for incoming inquiries from the website. That way we know we're not having to deal with, is it going to reply to this or not? What we can then do is from Zapier, anytime we receive an email, we take that, we send it into the conversation which we build in Google AI Studio there, we create the prompt, and we engineer into that prompt how we want it to reply, what knowledge it needs to have. We build all of that into there, and then we get it to save that as a draft. Now, instead of our employees having to spend 5, 10, 20 minutes replying to each email, it can generate a draft, and then we read over that. We either send it or we make some changes, add, delete, but at least we're reviewing content and sending it rather than having to write from scratch every time. So that absolutely is a big time saving feature.
Yeah, love that. And some of that's going to require a little bit of coding hands, but so powerful to a business. And if you imagine they've got a team of 10 people or 15 people, who are emailing customers, that's a massive productivity gain for them, right? Rather than doing everything manually or grabbing emails and cutting and pasting. Or, you can use Gemini, which is helpful to an extent as well, but sometimes you want additional context and that makes things better. So
that's the big difference here. So
that's
rather than, we know that we can receive an email, we can copy and paste it into Gemini, we can tell it how we want it to create that reply, and then we can take that output. But this is where the AI Studio comes from. We're basically templating that response. We are putting the prompt in, and over time we can perfect that prompt to make it better and better. And that way, anyone within our team can then use that prompt, or they don't have to go type the prompt in every time. Or, everyone else has got different prompts. They'll say it slightly differently, but this is where it's like creating a script. We can program that prompt exactly how we want it, and then it just happens automatically with Zapier. So as soon as an email comes in, it shoots it across to Gemini. Gemini answers, saves it as a draft, and it's automatically done there.
Nice. We've got some comments coming in here from John. He said, transcript is in apps section in Studio, or use Notebook LM. Oh, so that's interesting. So apparently there is a transcript one. Maybe you can look for that, Clint. I'm curious to see. Unless we have to make it from here. Google does transcribe very, very well, and I know that's in the GCP API library. I can't see one here, or maybe, I guess, okay, we can go to an empty app. Oh, it's going to ask us to code it. Okay, that's not what we want. Create an app. Maybe I'm missing it here. John also says you could add a label during Zap and then act based on the label. Yeah, that's a really great tip. Thanks for that, John. And then another one just to cover this question too. Do we plan to do Firebase Studio? Want a better app script AI development? Claude has been better than Gemini for me. That would probably be too technical for the remit of this channel. But if you want to geek out on that, I'm sure Clint would jump on a call with you. You can reach out to us via there should be a link below this video, and we'll get you guys connected. Okay, cool. So thanks everyone for those that have joined. There's plenty of people who've joined us live, and it's great to see your comments coming through as well. So we've got 7 minutes, Clint. I really don't feel like we've built something useful. This might be a fail, I don't know, but I mean, we found that AI Studio can work as the stream feature works as like a support type person. That's pretty useful for that. I really want it to watch more that's changing on my screen live, and
Yeah.
maybe there's just a button. Maybe there's just a button that I need to click. Turn coverage. Let's Gemini send audio and video when speech is not detected. Oh boy. Maybe that's it. Okay, hold on. Let's try again. All right. Let's say. All right. Now let's go back to the admin console, right? And I'm gonna pause the microphone, but then I'm gonna
see a
say
screen recording of a Google admin page. Is there anything specific you would like me to focus on?
Okay, so this has worked out. We're here. Yeah, I want to set an automatic bookmark for every one of my staff members that automatically sets bookmarks in their bookmarks bar when they're logged into their Chrome browser on their desktop computer for a Mac or a Windows. All right, so I'm going to put in the initial prompt and then see if it can walk me through the
automatically
rest.
set bookmarks in the Chrome browser of your staff members when they're logged in, regardless of whether they're using a Mac or Windows computer. Okay. From what I see, you can manage Chrome policies for your...
Would you like me to walk you through? Yes, that's just what I asked for.
Okay, please navigate to Devices in the left navigation menu, then select Chrome, and then Managed Bookmarks. From there, you should be able to add and organize the bookmarks that you want to deploy to your users.
So this
Does
is
that make
interesting.
sense?
Managed bookmarks is not actually... Managed
So I just leave it
bookmarks
there.
is not in the menu. It's wrong. But it also hasn't... Hold on, let's... What if I do the wrong thing? I'll just go back to the dashboard.
And see what it does.
No. No.
Yeah, you think it would apply to you by now, but
I mean, it should pick up the things are changing, right?
yeah.
Okay. So far, oops, I clicked the wrong button. So far we've not passed the test. This might be our first fail, Clint. We are 1 for 2.
So I think this is part of AI. I think it's very early days and very limited on how it can actually be useful. I think, yeah, content generation is definitely one area it can help with, whether that is writing tweets or blog posts or, helping to write the captions for your Instagram posts or anything like that. Or the other one is with emails. So I actually do think that could be a useful case for a lot of businesses there, like particularly any business who deals with customer service. So if they were to route their customer service emails into Gemini, have it draft a response, that absolutely can save hours and hours every single day for people who are just spending their days replying to customer service.
Yeah.
I think the big one is to not automate. I don't think people should be automating it yet, but drafting those responses, that is an absolute time saver. If someone can jump into a reply, they can read a message from a customer, see what the auto-generated draft was, and they can go, oh yeah, that's mostly right. I'll just change 1 or 2 sentences or change the tone of it or add a little bit of extra context or extra information. But at least 70% of that email is already written for them, and that there is a massive time saver.
Yeah.
That literally does transform to a number of hours, potentially each day saved. Like some of the businesses I've worked with, they save over 25 hours a week in AI automations that we've set up for them.
Wow. I agree with that strongly, and I want to add that there's some cool comments coming through. I'm just saying thank you to those. Thanks very much, John and Nathan, for your comments. For everyone who's jumped on and dropped in comments, great to hear you're out there listening and checking this out. I absolutely agree, Clint. Like doing things the slow way first, using the tools, even if it's like cutting and pasting in. It's so easy design this grand system, and then it never gets implemented because it takes so much energy to get it done. And I'll share an example of that I just drew up for my team. Oh, I'm going to have to go and find it now, which is probably in another window. Let's find my SOP for Attract. But I have this desire to have our YouTube videos automatically have a correct UTM added to the bottom of it, so we can track what are people interacting with on our channel, and what turns into conversions for our business, which is obviously pretty important for us as marketers.
Yep.
And I'm going to kill our little timer here. And this sequence can all be done back and forward with 2 fields in Asana that then go up to a YouTube that's uploaded into YouTube Studio, and then from YouTube via Zapier. And then from YouTube Studio, we need to grab the video ID and bring it back via Zapier and put it back in Asana. And then from there, we need to take that and combine it with some other stuff, and we need to push it back to YouTube Studio because we need to upload a video on private, get the video ID, and then put that back into the UTM link, because we want to track the video ID, because the title might change, but the video ID will always stay the same. And then we want to update a redirect. Oh, there we go. We've had our timer go off. Then we want to update a redirect, and we want to use Cloudflare's API for that. And all of this might take, a month or 2 for an engineer to build in his spare time, because of course all of my projects go slowly. I never get mine. All our customer projects go fast, but mine go slowly. Yet I can give my team that set of instructions and say, hey, for now, you're going to cut and paste. You're going to do this manually. You can still use the tools to get this done. If you need to say, do a description and timestamps and this and that. Okay, you can still put the transcription into Gemini and get the timestamps generated, and then cut and paste that into the description that's going to go in the video that's going to be uploaded. That can be done manually. And then the team, once they've built this magical, amazing system in 2 months' time, then we can take it live. Then you can go live with it. But don't wait to build the perfect system to take things live, because particularly those with like an engineering type mindset or a systems mindset, it's so easy to get caught up in that, right? Building the perfect system rather than just doing it. No,
that's it. It's always best to break it down as small as we can and just start getting value as soon as you can. Like every individual step that you can automate saves time, saves money. So you can start getting a return from it. That obviously better. But no, I think that there's a lot that can be done with AI, but it is still early days, and how you can actually do it yourself. Zapier is definitely a big help. With Zapier, you are literally writing code. But if people can, get their head around Zapier, which is really quite simple. I think if you have a Gemini window open and what you were doing there, where it's watching your screen
and you're talking through it, right? That should theoretically help you get it done.
Exactly right, because Zapier, it's not difficult, but it can be overwhelming at the start.
Yeah,
and you're just sort of blankly looking at it, going, I don't understand how this works, and it can be very frustrating. But once you start to do your first couple of zaps and you start to get things going, then it starts to click and you see, okay, I see how this works, I understand that. And then you start to get ideas, okay, I can automate this with Slack or with Sheets or any sort of other thing. Or when I generate an invoice in Xero, it triggers something else. There's so many things you can do. It's a lot of it comes down to your imagination and what you can do. But I think the big part is looking at what is it that we're doing in the business that is repetitive. If there's repetitive tasks, they can probably be automated.
Absolutely. You mentioned being creative, and I think every business owner should build 1 or 2 zaps just so they get how it works. Like take something from a spreadsheet and put it in an email, or take something from your WordPress website, a lead form, and put it in a spreadsheet, or put it in your Google Chat or something like that. That's easy. But then I think the only job of a business owner is to be able to get a piece of paper and draw a process snap a photo, and then delegate it. That's your job. Your job is not to actually build it. Your job is to get someone to build it. Wouldn't be doing our job if us as consultants didn't say, that's where you click the link down below and you chat to our team and you say, hey, I've got this pretty picture. Can you guys build it for me? So IT Genius builds apps. We build automations. We build and stuff that'll talk to APIs. Some of the stuff that we can't do or we don't do, Clint can take care of that. But yeah, you can get in touch with our team down below. Let us know what kind of project you're working on, what you want to build. Primarily, we work with Google Workspace. So we tend to work with apps or tools or services that are in the Google ecosystem. But, we're a Microsoft partner as well, so we can support other applications. We've done a lot of work on Google Script, GCP, not so much on AWS services. Clint, what's your experience with AWS? Have you done much on AWS, or are you more Google guy?
No, absolutely. For the larger projects, AWS is great, but the smaller projects, the small automations.
Scripts and API connectors and that kind of thing. Google's the place,
absolutely.
right?
Like I've got dozens of systems I've built where, it'll be something simple like after the weekend we want to have a look at sales in the cafe and then transfer that into our CRM. What bookings happened, or looking at how many clients came in for each booking, and then we need to put that back into the CRM because the reservation system doesn't talk to the CRM. That's the biggest problem, is that most software doesn't talk to all the other software we're using. And this is where automation comes in, because normally you would have had the receptionist there on Monday copying and pasting that data.
Yeah.
Where the way I look at it is, if we can automate those processes, we can take that person who was doing admin work and put them into a position that actually generates revenue.
Yeah.
Like, so many hours of a business are spent doing boring, mundane admin work that doesn't generate money, when we can be automating those processes and then spending human time on relationships and chasing sales and actually doing things that bring money into the business.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to wrap it up. Thanks so much for joining. Clint, we'll see you in the next one, and I'll do my little wrap up.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for joining. Oh, we've still got one of the comments up on the screen. How do I remove that? There we go. Please let us know what you think of this broadcast. Drop a comment down below. Would love to know, is there an app that you wanted to demo next time? We would love to jump in. The only requirement really is that it's in some way relevant to small businesses, because our business is all about helping small business owners do more with tech. And if you want to be part of a future live stream, I don't know, just watch the channel, subscribe. We don't have them scheduled right now, but one day I might commit to a subscription, a schedule where we do it at a certain time. But you got to watch them. You got to give us a thumbs up so we know that you like them. And of course, let us know what you think and what you want to see next right down below. See you next time.